Yeah, nah, I'm not an atheist.
Cool, why not? So, before we get started, I wanted you all to know that I cut out the first part of her video, because she doesn't offer any reasons for her not being an atheist, but instead clarifies a position she took in her last video. I'll link both of those videos in the description box if you want to have a watch. In this video, I was more interested in hearing her reasoning, rather than what she thinks about organized religion, etc. With that out of the way, let's hear her first reason.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm not an atheist. This is when everyone at home is like, what the actual fuck, Rage? The reason why I'm not an atheist is for many reasons, and I will mention all of these now.
No evidence for a deity? Logical inconsistencies? You've examined the claims and rejected them? What? What could it be?
First of all, I do hold some sort of spirituality.
As do many atheists. I mean, Sam Harris is a well-known, outspoken atheist, and he's written extensively on spirituality and how he thinks it can be achieved without believing in a deity. In other words, being spiritual doesn't mean you can't be an atheist. If you don't believe in a god, then that means you are an atheist. Atheism doesn't cover any other topic. Second, I personally have a hard time with people throwing around the term spiritual. It can mean practically anything from enjoying your favorite type of ice cream to believing you can speak to the dead. I think it's often used to muddy the waters rather than to clarify a position. I'm not saying that's what RageAfterStorm intended here, I'm just saying in general. Anyways, let's see what else she has to say.
And the spirituality I am talking about right here is not believing in the paranormal or whatever. I mean the inclusion of a sense of connecting to something bigger than ourselves. And it typically involves a search for meaning in life.
What do you mean by bigger than ourselves? Most atheists would admit that we're tiny, insignificant specks of dust floating on a grain of sand in the ocean of space. Pretty much everything is bigger than us. If you're looking for something spiritual or awe-inspiring, look no further than reality.
Recognize that the very molecules that make up your body, the atoms that construct the molecules, are traceable to the crucibles that were once the centers of high-mass stars, that exploded their chemically enriched guts into the galaxy, enriching pristine gas clouds with the chemistry of life, so that we're all connected to each other biologically, to the earth chemically, and to the rest of the universe atomically. That's kind of cool. That makes me smile. And I actually feel quite large at the end of that. It's not that we are better than the universe, we're part of the universe. We're in the universe, and the universe is in us.
As you can see, you can definitely feel connected to something bigger than ourselves without believing in deities. I find what Neil deGrasse Tyson just described far more beautiful, magnificent, and awe-inspiring than any religion or description of a deity I've run across in my life, and it's grounded in reality. As for your second point, it sounds as if you think our purpose or the meaning of our lives are dictated by a god. I don't think it does. You don't have to believe in a deity to find meaning in life. I'll leave a link in the description to my own answer to the question, what is the meaning of life, below, but atheists achieve meaning all the time.
The question of finding meaning, how to live life itself, and feeling connected is something that accompanies me a lot. I don't really find that I can be this and an atheist at the same time. This is because spirituality gives a goal of comfort, ethics, reflection, and also awe.
Again, I'm not sure why you need a deity to achieve any of these things. Also, most of the concepts you are referring to are found in religions, the ideologies that usually accompany belief in a deity, but not always. For example, you can be a deist and believe in a god that doesn't interfere in our lives, but that would do nothing to inform your ethics. You would still have to figure this out for yourself. Religions tend to dictate your ethics, but it should concern you that the ethics they're describing are often thousands of years old. They were created by people who knew next to nothing about the world scientifically, and who thought that natural disasters like earthquakes or volcanic eruptions were the wrath of some god. These religions contain outdated moral codes that even the adherents of these religions often ignore. Religions distort reality and shackle our moral intuitions to primitive belief systems that often fly in the face of modern secular morality. As for comfort, you're right to say that religions offer a form of comfort, but are they true? And without them, could we create philosophies based on reality that could help people in difficult times? Having lost my father some time ago, I personally think we can. If anything, I think many religions stunt our grieving process by offering us false comforts that aren't based in reality, such as the assurance that we'll see our loved ones in the hereafter, or that what happened to them was part of some grand plan. I think we can do better than this false hope. But all this aside, none of this really has anything to do with atheism. You still haven't said whether or not you believe in a deity, and that's all you need to know to figure out whether you're an atheist.
I don't really feel that atheism can give me this source of comfort as a whole.
You're right, it can't. Atheism only addresses whether or not you believe in a deity. That's it. To answer other questions, we have to think for ourselves instead of letting our superstitious, primitive ancestors do the thinking for us. We can construct other ways to deal with comfort or ethics, such as secular humanism. It seems to me that if you don't believe in God, and instead believe that the Bible, the Koran, etc., were written by humans for humans, that you already believe we can come up with codes of ethics, because that's exactly what our ancestors did. If you believe that, then do you think the ethics and philosophies found in these holy books do the best job of it? And can we improve on those philosophies? Can we do this while simultaneously rejecting the beliefs that don't seem to be factually based on reality? I think we can. I think atheists are already doing this, and I think this is the way of the future. But hell, maybe I'm just an eternal optimist.
Likewise, I don't believe I'm the type of person to chastise someone for a belief in gods or gods. Things that help people to live their day-to-day lives and basically cope. I mean, sure, I practically shit on the practice of religion, I admit that.
If you believe that what they believe is false, why wouldn't you challenge that belief? Your entire channel is based on challenging other people's opinions. Why should religion get a free pass? I'm not saying they shouldn't have the right to hold those beliefs, but that doesn't mean I can't verbally challenge them when they publicly announce those beliefs. These beliefs are causing harm around the world. It's time to take the kid gloves off and treat it like any other false belief, and to treat the believers of these religions like adults who are capable of hearing words they don't like. We live in a world where one God-addled group attacks and kills innocent people in the name of their God, and another group offers prayers to their deity in response. In fact, whenever there is a mass killing, people start tweeting and posting their thoughts and prayers to this deity, yet the slaughter continues. We live in a world where, quote, a California woman was arrested for attempted homicide yesterday after she stripped her 11-year-old daughter naked, shoved sand in her eyes and mouth, choked her, and tried to remove the demons from the child. The little girl would have died if it weren't for the intervention of a local man, who told me in an interview that he believes God sent him to save her. So here you have one person who believes in demons, while the rescuer believes he was sent by a deity to save the 11-year-old daughter. We live in a world where Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin wants residents to form prayer patrols to stop crime. I could go on, but I think you get the point. Around the world, we see horrendous actions being taken due to belief in a deity, from people who literally think that a supernatural being wants them to specifically act in certain ways, and they're often able to convince others that their version of this deity is correct by appealing to their belief in the same deity. If you're someone who doesn't believe that these religious ideas are based on reality, I don't see why you wouldn't think they need to be criticized and exposed to the marketplace of ideas.
But I wouldn't rebuke someone specifically for that. Not saying that all atheists do, but it's just something that stands with me here right now.
You're right, not all atheists do. What you're referring to is anti-theism. You're talking about people like me who believe religions are harmful and who actively criticize religions. I see nothing wrong with it, just like I don't see anything wrong with people calling out bad political ideas, or anything else they think is harmful to individuals and societies.
Because for sure, you don't have to believe in something to practice it. Spirituality is fundamentally really important in civilization. And here's the important part. It's belief that isn't important.
I think she said belief isn't important, and if that's what she said, I wholeheartedly disagree. Of course beliefs are important. Beliefs lead to action. If you believe that, say, white people are superior to black people, you're more likely to discriminate against black people. If you believe that homosexuality is a sin that your God detests, you're more likely to act in ways that will lead to discrimination. You can argue that isn't always the case, hashtag not all, but you significantly boost the likelihood of that behavior based on your belief.
Because with belief, instead of asking where you find meaning, you ask what practices, rites, or rituals you should follow. Instead of asking how you feel connected, you begin to ask what is right and what is wrong. Instead of asking how you live, you begin to ask what is true or false.
Yes, but I fail to see how this doesn't apply to atheists. We all ask ourselves these questions, and it has nothing to do with whether or not you're an atheist. I can ask myself what is true and false, and still be an atheist. I can practice rituals and still be an atheist. I can ask what is right and what is wrong and still be an atheist. In fact, examining why I believe certain things and asking myself these questions are part of the reason I am an atheist.
Belief mostly narrows you down to yes and no questions. Spirituality provides open questions. Ancient European religions should be respected.
What ancient European religions are you talking about? Are they based on reality? Are they true? If they're not, and I strongly lean towards them not being any of those things, then they do not deserve respect. Why would I respect an ideology I think is false and based on lies and misconceptions? I wouldn't. I would argue that at this point it would be practically impossible for me to respect such a thing. That doesn't mean I'd go out of my way to be a dick to followers of those religions, but that doesn't mean I should respect the set of ideas they follow.
I don't personally believe in any of it, but I think the way people see these things is sort of cool.
What is cool about believing untrue things? I think religions are fascinating. I enjoy talking about religion, I enjoy reading about religion, and I love trying to figure out why people believe the things they do. But I don't see anything cool about believing in things that are demonstrably false either. And if you don't believe in any of it, then I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're an atheist.
Spirituality is something deeply important to maintaining a civilized society for sure. Because what atheism manages to do is to try and get people to completely reject the idea of a deity.
Atheism doesn't try to get you to do anything. It's a lack of belief in God. Many atheists don't care about religion at all.
Based on its own smug nihilism about what the universe actually exists for. Jordan Peterson also mentioned some really interesting things about atheism. I saw loads of people trying to tell me to watch him, and I'm just here like, bitch, I already have.
You don't have to be a nihilist to be an atheist either. Jordan Peterson. I'm going to have to address his arguments at some point as well. But that's about it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and as always, thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Cheers!